Hey folks, hope you're doing good today. Hope you enjoyed the grindcore yesterday, man. We had some great bands on there, 10 kick-ass blasting bands. And today we got something a bit different. This stuff isn't everyone's cup of tea, but if you watch this show, you'll be exposed to lots of different types of heavy music. And it might be stuff you might not usually want to check out or think that you like, but via the show, hopefully you get exposed to it and check it out. So what we're going to check out today is some trap metal. Some people are going to immediately turn off the second I've said that, but I hope not, because this is a new style of metal and heavy music. Trap's fairly new. It's still kind of a new thing, and trap metal is even newer. And I think they are two styles that can blend together quite nicely. You can do a good job. It just depends what elements of each style and you kind of bring into the mix and mix it up. Now, trap metal is obviously ticky drums is one of those things with trap metal that's always, or trap music, I should say, is always there, and that's kind of a staple part. So I do think in order to call yourself a trap metal band, you do need to have those ticky drums, and I don't mind them. I think it's a cool sound, and I think kind of leaving out the rap side of the trap and bringing in heavy vocals and stuff like that is really the cool way to do it, because I don't mind the music of trap so much, but the vocals and the lyricism, it's not really my cup of tea. So I like this stuff. I've enjoyed every time we've checked this guy out on the show. So we're happy to do it, and we're going to have two tracks to check out today. But the first one that we're going to check out is a brand new track. It's coming out today, so it's as fresh as you like, and he's made a priority submission, which is super dope as well. Now, this is Patrick McElravy, but the band that he's doing this trap metal stuff with is Seethe. And with this stuff, he likes to get a producer to do the music, and then he does the vocals, records the vocals, does all the effects and stuff on the vocals. He adds distortion and reverb and all that kind of stuff to his vocal. He's got a very distinctive vocal style, but it goes well with the music. And then a friend of the show as well, Gus Warner, he does the mastering on this stuff, and I'll tell you, every time this track comes down the pipe, it's loud as it will possibly go. So Gus, he knows how to crank a mix for sure. I've actually turned my volume down just a little bit, because last time it nearly gave me tinnitus. So this guy's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The first track that we're going to check out, which is brand new, is called Pig Thick. So let's get it on the screen and give it a spin. It's loud already. A nice broody atmosphere. Yeah, this one's got a real broody atmosphere. Oh, is that us done already? Yeah, it's only a short one. Now, man, I must say, with this track, I was waiting for it to blow me away, and I think it would have been nice if this one just went absolutely maxed out at some point. I was expecting a really big fat drop with this one because it had that kind of on the edge of your seat, kind of, let's say, broody atmosphere. You're not sure what's going to kind of come next. A bit horror movie style sound to it. And I was expected to kind of get stabbed in the heart with some big low bass tunes. So maybe the next track on the album can be one that really blows you away, because I think this is one of those kind of tracks that sets you up and kind of takes you to the edge, but doesn't quite, push you over the edge with it. So yeah, I think it's one of those kind of tracks. So I enjoyed it a lot. It's one of the, I say, it kind of kept me on the edge of my seat, seeing where it was going to go. I thought the sound of it was great. As I say, Gus knows how to push a mix really loud, but still retain a nice clarity. And that's important with this kind of music, because with electronic music, you've got to have a clarity to it. It's different mixing electronic sounds compared to just heavy distorted guitars and screaming vocals, because the electronic sounds have got a very defined edge and a very kind of a clarity to the sound, and if you don't mix them right, if you're not EQ'd right, or if they've pushed too hard through a limiter or something like that where they lose their edge, the whole mix just doesn't really kind of come together nicely. But this one did, so they did a great job. But because that was only a short one, and I like to kind of give people a bit of value for money when they're making a priority submission, I said, give us another track and we'll check that one out as well. And he said, well, I've got an older track for you, and this is one that he feels has been kind of slightly overlooked within his discography and stuff. So we're going to give it a spin. I always tend to like the B-sides on an album. One of my favourite Nirvana albums is Insecticide, and that's all just B-sides and stuff. But I actually thought some of the coolest stuff's in there. So you get some ideas and stuff that don't normally kind of come out in the singles and stuff. So let's check this one out. This one's called Blue Insomnia. We'll give it a spin. It's only 2 minutes again, the short ones. So here we go. Lots of effects on the vocals, but it sounds great, suits his voice. It's like his voice is glitched into the music. There you go. I must admit, I'm not a big listener to this kind of music, so I'm not super familiar with it. And for me, listening to this stuff is a new experience as well. And I was just thinking with this track, the trap stuff has actually got quite a slow pace to it. It's not fast-paced music. Sometimes the ticky drums can give it a kind of tick, 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 tick. bounciness to it. But this stuff is real stomping and moshy stuff. If you're at a gig with this stuff and the music's blazing out of a massive PA, you could mosh hard to this stuff. So it's got a nice groove to it in that way, that it has got a good head nod to it. You can get into that flavor with it. But what I liked about this one as well is how he meshed the vocal and digitized the vocal into the digital sounds of the music. I thought that went really cool. So yeah, if this is an overlooked track of an older one that he's done, there you go. It doesn't need to be, because I thought he did a great job. And the sound's just as great. And it really comes across with a nice power and forcefulness. Obviously got a big, fat, bassy low end to it. So I do think sonically this music's got a lot going for it. It might not be your thing. It just, you might just not be into it because you're into grindcore or something like that, and this stuff just doesn't kind of float your boat. But if you're into sound like I am, and you just appreciate cool sounds or hearing sounds, just generally hearing sounds, this stuff has got a lot going on. The drums are all over the place with stuff going on, mixing it up. There's a lot of synthy sounds in there. There's a lot of bass stuff going on in there. A lot of little mixing bits and bobs going on, as I say, the way they digitized the vocal and blended it in and kind of chopped it up and stuff like that. So there is a lot to listen to in this music if you just like listening to sonic audio. So there you go. I think this is really cool, and it's somewhat different for the show. We don't have trap metal on one day a week or something like that. So when it does come down the pipe, I'm happy to check it out because it's somewhat different. And I do like to think that this channel is exposing the audience to stuff that they might not normally hear. I've been exposed to stuff that I wouldn't normally hear, this included, via the show, and I find it very enjoyable. And actually within the last year now, I find myself wanting to listen to a whole range of different sounds. There was a time when I just listened to hardcore, and that was all I listened to. There was a time when I just listened to nu metal, and that was it. But now, as I'm older now, and kind of via doing this show as well, I really like to just listen to a whole bunch of sounds. One day I'll listen to a bunch of grindcore like yesterday. Today we got trap metal. Tomorrow I might listen to some black metal. There's some death metal. And just go through all the different genres of heavy music, and really just listening to one genre and sticking to the one kind of sound isn't good enough for me anymore. I've got to really listen to a lot of stuff. And I find as well that I like to listen to, even if I am just listening to, say, grindcore, like we did yesterday, we were listening to 10 different bands. That was amazing for me. I really love that. And I think if we just listened to 10 tracks of the same band, unless it had been one of the really sick ones that was on yesterday, it wouldn't have been half as fun as listening to 10 tracks from 10 different bands. And that's what really this show is showing me. And I think to myself, well, if it's showing me that, it's got to be showing some of you guys that as well. So there you go. That's going to be it for today. Hope you're having a good Friday. Over the weekend, we've got some cool bands coming as well. So hit the subscribe button if you're new to the show, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.